Of course, Lute Olson, the big news, the leave of absence, but has announced will return for next season. And the counterpart in his first season coming back home to Morgantown, Bob Huggins, born in Morgantown, of course, stops with Akron, Cincinnati, 1 year with Kansas State, and has led Virginia to 24 wins.
I'll tell you what, these are two very interesting guys. They knew each other back in the olden days when Kevin O'Neill was the head coach of Marquette, and they played against Cincinnati. Bob Huggins has a 7-1 record against Mr. O'Neill. Kevin, of course, also was the coach of Tennessee and also of Northwestern, and has been in the NBA quite a few years. Bob Huggins has done a remarkable job with this West Virginia team. They were the three-point shooting team of John Beilein in the 1-3-1 zone. And now they still shoot threes, but they are a very, very tough man-to-man team.
Well, Beilein led the West Virginia Mountaineers in the NIT Championship last year, then left for Michigan. And tonight's game is being brought to you on HD TV by HP. Boy, the buzz is still in this arena, Bob, as this crowd watched Belmont, the 15th seed, take Duke all the way to the limit.
That was an unbelievable game, and Belmont showed that the Atlantic Sun plays some basketball also, and Rick Byrd has got to be one of the best offensive coaches I've seen in a long, long time.
Alexander will jump against Hill, and West Virginia controls the tip. So the final game of 4 underway here in Washington.
West Virginia has averaged 24 wins a game the last 3 years. They won the NIT last year, Sweet 16 the year before that, Elite 8 the year before that.
West Virginia will shoot the three-pointer. They average 20 a game inside the three-point arc. And Alexander, the glue of West Virginia, knocks down his first 2.
He has had over 30 in 3 of his last 6 games. Twice over 30 against UConn.
Tough catch and a tough shot. Budinger kisses it off the glass, and we trade buckets early.
We're going to see some fantastic athletes in this game. You just saw 2 of them, Budinger and Alexander, but Bayless is unbelievable, and Darius Nichols is very, very quick at the point guard for West Virginia.
Alexander hangs on a pivot, tough shot, and Hill flies in for Arizona.
Nick Wise, the diminutive point guard, injured early. Now that he is back, they are better.
Contact, no whistle. Dishes that ball out to Bayless, the freshman from Phoenix.
Second team all Pac-10, this young freshman. He can get his own shot.
Averaging 20 points a ball game. That's 4th best among all freshmen in Division I basketball. On the dribble, the drive. That ball is loose and out of bounds. 6 on the shot clock. It belongs to Arizona.
Well, Mr. Alexander has done a remarkable job. His freshman year barely played, got a few points last year, and now has blossomed into a superstar. 6 on the shot clock.
Budinger goes down low. Hill spins, hangs, double pumps, contact. And Jordan Hill, a great athlete at 6'10", goes about 230, and will toe the free throw line for the first time tonight.
One of the best field goal percentage shooters in the country is Mr. Hill at 62%. Alexander picks up a foul quickly here.
And Bob, those numbers you just mentioned, 62% leads the Pac-10 in field goal percentage. Boy, I like his game. 13 points. He's a good rebounder, nearly 8 boards a game.
55 blocks on the season. Only played about 400 minutes last year. That's not a lot. And he is really turning into an outstanding force in the paint for Arizona.
Makes 1 of 2. Arizona with the early 3-2 lead. Arizona the 10th seed, West Virginia the 7th seed in the West. Nichols puts his shoulder down, Haynes drives it over in the corner. Smulligan leaves it for Butler. Nearly 2 minutes into the first half, and the left-hander knocks down the 3. That's a big shot for Nichols.
Nichols was recruited by Beilein, his first recruit at West Virginia 5 years ago.
Just underway in Washington, D.C., the final of 4 games here in the West region. West Virginia and Arizona, and the Mountaineers with a 2-point lead and the basketball. Ruoff downtown.
The second best three-point shooter in the Big East behind Kyle McIlharney. West Virginia off to a perfect start.
Nichols hit first. Ruoff follows with another three. And West Virginia on top. 8-3 on CBS. Play first half. West Virginia by 5. And coming up, stay tuned, Mississippi Valley State, the 16th seed in the West, will take on #1 seeded UCLA. Ben Howland and the Bruins. And the question tonight, is Arizona truly healthy? Are they back? We'll find out as West Virginia with the early 5-point lead on back-to-back threes by Nichols and Ruoff.
West Virginia plays some sticky defense, and they rarely turn the ball over. Among the best in the country in turnover ratio, only about 11 a game.
Bayless, the freshman. Low block is Hill. Goes against Smoligan, hangs on a pivot. Oh, that ball is stuck. And it comes back down.
The rule is a jump ball. The ball stuck there. Arizona maintains possession. Smoligan doing a nice job bodying up right here on a more athletic guy. Both about the same size. Smoligan maybe an inch or two on him.
Arizona possession. Bayless, a fantastic freshman. Kick it out. Bayless deep. That ball comes off the rim and up high. Alexander.
That was a rebound above the rim. It's showing his jumping ability.
Boy, Joe Alexander with hops.
He got injured earlier in this year. He jumped over a player and got his ankle stuck on his shoulder and fell to the floor. Missed one game and played injured for a few others. Watch this ball as it comes off the rim and where his hands are. Wow. That is getting up in the air, my friend.
Nick Wise, the foul, his first. Nichols out front, looks inside to Alexander. Smoligan likes to shoot that three. Not efficient at 18%, but he'll take it. Alexander launches. That ball off the right side of the rim and a rebound for Hill.
McClellan did a real nice job that time on Alexander. Stayed with him, challenged his shot.
Wise hands it off to McClellan, backs it out with 21 on the shot clock, nearly 4 minutes in. First half.
Arizona is not a deep team. Several guys in the 35-minute range.
Shot clock to 10, and the ball is launched and dropped. Bayless for 2, just inside the arc. St. Mary's High School, Phoenix, Arizona.
Talked to Kevin O'Neill about Jared yesterday, and he's been around a lot of pros, been in the NBA 7 years, and he told me that Bayless is one of the most competitive guys he's ever been around.
Alexander, how about that kiss off the glass? Did he call it? Bank! Alexander, 2 buckets early.
He is so hard to guard. He just turns around and shoots over everybody.
Bayless pops out front. And Arizona rolls it up and in. Buttinger, second bucket, 4 points. Encinitas, California is home for this 6'7" sophomore. Durable. Started all 34 ball games.
24 straight NCAA tournaments for the University of Arizona. The longest running streak right now.
Lost the handle, grabbed it back. Smoligan. I told you he likes the deep ball. Launches it and just rims out. Smoligan, kind of a point guard trapped in that big body.
Well, remember they had Kevin Pittsnoggle a couple of years ago when they made it to the Elite 8, and he would shoot from anywhere outside that three-point line. Smoligan not quite in that category.
High off the glass, rebound. Guess who? Alexander again goes up high. In fact, out jumps Smoligan. Jumper. Ricochets off, backside. Oh, Butler, good look. And the rebound to Hill. Bayless takes a handoff from Nick Wise. Stops and goes, drives on Nichols, puts up the shot and a whistle. Timeout on the floor. West Virginia by 3 over Arizona.
Let's get you back to Arizona and West Virginia.
And in Washington, final game of 4 here in the nation's capital. And this one matches Arizona against West Virginia. Number 10 against number 7. West Virginia, Bob's dropped down a couple of three-point shots to own a 10-9 lead early.
They get off to a hot start, and they're kind of stalling themselves out these last couple of minutes right here. Nick Wise, the point guard for Arizona, controls the tempo of the game. Darius Nichols, very, very quick, will be on him all day long.
Budinger feeds it down to Hill, try to give it right back. It goes out of bounds, and the Wildcats give it away.
You mentioned the various injuries this year for Kevin O'Neal's team. Bayless was out for 4 games with a knee. Wise was out. So a lot of guys banged up, and that Wise missed 8 games. So this is the time of the year that they're hitting on all cylinders, and they are finally healthy. It's a good time to be healthy when the NCAA tournament begins.
It's all about the right time to peak. And Arizona hopes that's the case starting tonight against West Virginia. They've got to run through Alexander. How about that defense? Stripped it away. Wise takes it up strong. And a foul called in the paint. 2 shots coming. And Nick Wise runs about 5'10", Bob, 180. And I tell you, he can move on this floor. Is he wearing the high tights, or is that just high socks? I'm not sure what that is.
That's to keep the blood flow going. Nick Wise, of course, was injured, and that keeps the blood flow going to his injuries.
Drops down the free throw, ties the game at 10, and NCAA March Madness On Demand is streaming every game from the NCAA Championship online for free, and you can watch any game anytime at the new NCAA.com.
Uncharacteristically, West Virginia turned the ball over 2 times in a row. They average 11 per game. Joe Mazzulla, one tough customer handling the basketball right now, can guard any position on the floor at 6'2".
Nichols with 2 fouls for West Virginia. Long shot. Oh, yes, down she goes, and it's a 3-pointer by Deshaun Butler. 3 threes in the first half for the Mountaineers.
Deshaun is their best one-on-one guy.
Hill inside, strong move, rolls it in with the left hand. Jordan Hill averages 13 points a ball game.
Arizona is doing a very, very good job of establishing the low post. They realize that Alexander, if he is guarding Hill, can get into foul trouble.
Smith out front, launches deep, way short, barely even hit the net. Outlet, Hill, oh, he couldn't catch it over the shoulder.
Hill can run the floor, but that was a little bit out of his reach. Misconnection with Mr. Jared Bayless. The ball is spinning correctly, little bit past.
Turnovers even now at 2 apiece.
Dillon comes into the game for Budinger. Dillon is more of a defensive guy. Right now, the problem that I see for West Virginia is Hill, because Hill is a guy that they're going to have trouble defending, and if Alexander guards him, he's liable to get in foul trouble.
Flowers is in for West Virginia, and a whistle before the shot. Bayless. Jared Bayless, the freshman, is first.
Right here, Alexander. Welcome to the NCAA tournament, Joe.
West Virginia clears it out. And the shot goes.
Mazzulla. He is not a guy who really tries to score or score from the outside. Very, very tough guy. He is in there to try to bother Wise and get them out of their offense.
16-13, and a foul in the lane. It will be on Mazzulla. Timeout. West Virginia by 3. West Virginia using that 3-point shot to elevate a 3-point lead on Arizona. The Mountaineers 4 of 6 from behind the arc.
And Joe Alexander is a guy who has improved dramatically as the season has gone on. First 27 games, 14 a game. The last 6, 26 a game, hitting half of his shots and 7.3 rebounds. This guy has a very unusual story. The first 8 years of his life, he was born in Taiwan, lived in Japan and China as well. A late bloomer, if I've ever seen one, and he is big time blooming right now.
11:40 to play first half. Out front, Bayless. Throws it right back to Wise. Bayless controls the dribble. Boy, those are some tough passes up and over the top of West Virginia's defense. And a turnover. Carry that ball over, and West Virginia will have possession and the three-point lead.
So far, neither team has gotten into a rhythm right here. You know, the flow of the game has been interrupted by little fouls and tic-tac things here and there. Neither team getting a rhythm, and that is bad for both of them.
3 turnovers now committed by Arizona. Butler spinning, hanging, jump shot, good. Well, that's a tough one after hitting a 3. Butler comes back and drops about a 12-footer, 5 points to lead West Virginia.
He's averaged 17 a game in the last 4 games.
Under 11 to play. First half.
Ruoff really denying Bayless out front.
McClellan off the rim. Guess who? Alexander in traffic. The kid is everywhere. And the foul on Buttinger.
Well, Buttinger and Alexander have tremendous hops, both of them. Buttinger, of course, very well known for his prowess as a volleyball player as well. And Alexander has an unbelievable vertical leap in the 40s. Inches, that is.
Butler out front. Alexander faces up. Draws that foul. Boy, so strong, and McClellan lost his footing. And in high school, Buttinger was an All-American volleyball player. He played for the Team USA Youth National Team. And when he spiked the ball, get out of the way.
Ouch, that hurts. Well, he's got some hops.
Versatile player. I should say versatile athlete. Volleyball, basketball, Alexander. Left-hand dribble as we head up to 10 minutes left in the first half. Nearly thrown into the front row. Saved in traffic, put up the shot, count it. And looking away with away. Was that Butler?
Indeed. He is really asserting himself at the offensive end. Feels that he can face up and go one-on-one for Bob Huggins.
So the foul before the shot, Buttinger picks up number 2.
That is trouble for Kevin O'Neill because they are not deep. Let's see if he leaves Buttinger in the game and tries to have him play with 2 fouls.
Missoula on a needle on the low block. Butler turns, fires. Oh, that's sweet. 7 for Butler. Timeout. The lead is now 7 for West Virginia. Butler with 7. Alexander with 4. And we'll be back on CBS. Greg Bolajak, Bob Wenzel back in Washington, D.C. It's West Virginia, Arizona. And Buttinger, looks like Kevin O'Neill, coach, is going to stay with him with 2 fouls. He's thrown out a couple of buckets here in the first half.
I guess he feels like Chase can play intelligently, but he better not be guarding Butler. They better make a switch there, because if he's trying to do that, Butler's going to either score every time or he's going to pick up his 3rd.
Kevin O'Neill needs his firepower. Buttinger averages 17 points a ball game. They go to Hill, straight away. Picked up by Alexander. There's Buttinger behind the screen. He'll watch it for 2, deep, off the mark. And Alexander is just having his way on the boards.
I'll tell you, he really is. And at 6'8", he's the biggest guy on the floor right now. But Butler plays big also.
Alexander already with 4 points, 4 rebounds. Pops out straight away. Puts it on the floor.
They're trying to get the 3rd on Chase right here.
Missoula, short. And the rebound. Inside traffic, loose ball, batted out of bounds, and it's going to belong to West Virginia.
Well, this is our 4th game of the day here in Washington, D.C., and I'm counting them. 98 guys have hit the floor in this regional. It has been very, very aggressive.
Bob, no reason to mop this floor after we're done. It's been done on both ends. High floater. And Hill is there to pick it out of the sky. Big fella tried to dribble and smartly gave it up. Bayless around the screen by Hill. Hill stop and pop. Jumper. Oh, got it.
Hill just pointed over to Kevin O'Neill and pointed to his chest and said, "Call my number, coach." Kevin O'Neill, with his NBA background, they run a lot of pro sets in their offense. Staggered screens and screen-to-screener stuff.
Now, we watched the 1 hour, the 40-minute practice yesterday as Butler drains it inside the arc. They shot Butler with 9 points. And Bob, you're right. I mean, it was crisp. It was precise. Everyone knew their spots. They worked off screens. I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah, well, you do the Utah Jazz game, so you recognize some of those kind of sets that they run.
Jordan Hill slams down 2. 5-point West Virginia lead.
You know, when you have Jordan Hill on the outside and Bayless and Buttigieg, you've got a pretty good core of 3 guys who can score from every different position on the floor.
Missoula controls the dribble as we close in on 7.5 minutes to play. First half. Flowers straight away.
McClellan, look at him inside with Alexander. It's getting physical between those two.
Inside one hot. Flowers off the glass and the rebound. Wildcats come out of the pack running with Nick Wise. Backs it around his back. Bayless will pop it deep. Rebound. Mountaineers. West Virginia owning the boards. Ruoff to Alexander. And double dribble. 7:02 to play. 22-17, West Virginia on CBS. Humble, busy man. Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis will take you out for a live look at all the action going on in the NCAA tournament, and they will get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, plus an AT&T Coach's Corner. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. And Coach Joe Alexander is really working hard out of that paint.
Jawan McClellan is trying to take his legs away. He's got his hands wrapped around him. No whistle on these plays right here. McClellan really doing a good job trying to get Alexander out of his rhythm.
4 points, 4 rebounds for Alexander. First team all Big East selection. In Washington, under 7 minutes to play first half. West Virginia and Arizona. And we've got a player down. And that's Nick Wise, the point guard for the Wildcats.
Earlier in this year, he had knee surgery. He injured it at USC, played against UCLA the next day, and he missed 8 games during the course of the season. I don't know if it's the same injury, but...
Well, it was the left knee, Bob, and it looks like that's the one he's hobbling on just a little bit.
Let's see how it happens. I think they both hit knees against one another.
Oh, trying to cut back, and it buckled.
Yeah, he and Missoula banged knees against one another. His numbers on the season, good ones. Terrific assist man.
Really improved, Bob, his three-point shooting from his freshman year to his sophomore campaign. 23%, upped it to 47% this year. And Wise looks to be, you're going to take him to the locker room?
Yeah, he has 116 assists and only 53 turnovers. That is a great, great ratio. Now Bayless is going to have to do a lot of the ball handling right here. That could take away from his scoring. Let's watch and see. Missoula's going to be on Bayless.
Jamel Horn, number 42, checks in. Bayless stops and pops it deep. Rims out, just beat the shot clock, and the rebound to West Virginia. Missoula trots across midcourt with 6:20 on the clock. Alexander cuts through. Well, hard to feed Alexander. Good defense by Arizona. Boy, that's just physical. Watch that. I mean, that is unbelievable down low. McClellan really doing a job.
Watch how he keeps his legs into the legs of Alexander. We know Alexander can lead, but I think we're going to get a situation right here where we get a foul. Offensive.
Ruoff. And that's the first on Alex Ruoff out of Spring Hill, Florida. Well, Bayless walks it across midcourt. 5:50 on the first half clock.
Big East and Pac-10, two of the major conferences in the land, going at one another right here.
Hill gives it up front. Buttinger, tough shot. Oh, in and out. And Bob, we've been stuck on 22-17 now for quite a while as Missoula dishes off inside. And a travel.
Well, the defense of Kevin O'Neal is the reason that he is on the staff at Arizona and now coaching the team in Lute Olson's absence. A great reputation for a tough, hard-nosed, man-to-man defensive coach, and their defense has improved this year. An odd situation Kevin finds himself in here. Lute Olson will be back next year to coach the team. He is the coach in waiting, if you will.
How about Ruoff? Stood his ground, and Bayless picks up the foul. That's 2 on Jared Bayless.
Ruoff is guarding the screener and steps right in the path of Bayless. Feet square to the offensive man. Clearly a charge.
5 minutes to play. Butler cuts through. Ruoff deep. For 3. Second three-point shot dropped by Alex Ruoff. Ranked number 3 in Big East in three-point shooting, just over 40%. Arizona tries to answer, short. That ball takes one bounce out, rebound, it's loose. Out of bounds. West Virginia basketball. What a journey for Bob Huggins. Took over for John Beilein, Bob, as you mentioned. And Nick Wise, miraculously, is back. They brought him to the bench. They set him on the other side, worked on him. Maybe a cramp.
They have magic in the locker room. He is back on the floor and looking pretty good.
West Virginia drives in. Smith, that ball batted from behind. Buttinger got a piece of it. I like the way Hill has played this first half for Arizona. Bayless, Hill, the follow and the jam.
And he was fouled. Talk about some elevation by a 6'10" player. The Arizona guys like it.
Wellington Smith picks up the foul. And Smith goes out, and Smulligan will return for West Virginia. Atlanta, Georgia, home for Jordan Hill, only a sophomore. And how about that three-point play?
Well, he was up high on that dunk, obviously. A nice play by Bayless, actually seeing him. Good vision.
25-20, West Virginia. Under 4 minutes left, first half. Smulligan finds Alexander. Tough shot. One bouncing out. Here comes Bayless. Runs it across. 2-on-2. Bayless slows it down. Straight away is Wise.
So far, the best important thing for Arizona in this game is McClellan's contributions on defense against Alexander. That is why they only have 25 points to this juncture. Very unusual for West Virginia.
Wise slices in for the layup. And boy, that knee looks fine. I mean, I thought he was done the way he walked off this court. Missoula. Ruoff turns, fires. That ball comes off the rim. Butler puts it back up and in.
He's been the best offensive force in this game by far, with Alexander getting blanketed by McClellan. Butler is really having a field day.
First player to hit double figures, 11 to lead West Virginia. Jordan Hill, 8 to lead the Wildcats of Arizona. Under 3 minutes to play. Missoula the steal. Will try to outrun Wise and then backs it out. Feeds baseline. Buttinger got a piece of it. Tries to split the defense, lays it up and in. Oh, what a play.
That was extremely difficult. What body balance Buttinger had on that one. The reason that Butler's having such a good game right now is that Buttinger is very afraid to foul him. And right now, Butler has an advantage on Bayless size-wise.
Mulligan looks inside. Up front to Alexander, look for a cutter. Left to right hand dribble. Mulligan with 9 on the shot clock. Big fella drives it up and in. Left hand. Oh, it falls off the rim. And right there for the rebound is Jordan Hill. 2 minutes on the clock. 5-point West Virginia lead. Bayless backs it out. Plenty of time on that shot clock. Nearly stolen away, and Wise takes it back away from Missoula.
Ruoff is on Buttinger. He's going to have to fight through screens.
Deep, got it!
Didn't do it.
Buttinger!
Excellent screen and execution by Arizona.
Arizona making a late run. Here in the waning minutes of the first half, 27-25. Alexander. Held to just 4 points, Bob. Big story in this first half. Alexander averages nearly 17, and they've done a great job defending Joe Alexander. 1:23 left. First half. West Virginia by 2. West Virginia owns a 2-point lead on Arizona. 5 of 7 shooting for the Mountaineers behind the 3-point line. Also +1 in rebounding. Buttinger leads the way with 9 for the Wildcats. Butler with 11 for West Virginia.
Well, watch how difficult a time that Alex Ruoff is going to have right here on this screen for Buttinger. It is a very, very difficult task indeed to fight through this. Not only does Nick get him, but so does Mulligan. And right here, that is a difficult task indeed to get through that situation.
Arizona drops down their first 3-point shot of this first half and closes the gap to 2. Buttinger with 9 points, Jordan Hill with 8, and Deshaun Butler leads West Virginia with 11. 1:20 on the clock out of the timeout. Turn, fire, Butler rims out. Now there's Hill for another rebound. 8 boards for Jordan Hill, Bob, in the first half.
Low-scoring game right here is to the advantage, I think, of Arizona. They like to run their sets. West Virginia would like to push it a little more.
Oh, wide open for the layup. That's a 10-2 run now by Arizona. Buttinger in double figures after the slow start with 11.
He and Bayless both playing with 2 fouls right here. Kevin O'Neal rolling the dice, and it's paying off.
Tied at 27, 45 on the clock. Down she goes. Count it, Ruoff on the goaltend.
Jace Buttinger moving without the basketball, staggered screens. This is very, very difficult to guard when you have an athlete that can circle like that.
What's that, the C play? The half circle?
There you go.
Oh, he covered a lot of ground. That goaltending call puts West Virginia back on top by 2. Arizona controls the dribble. Nick Wise around the double screen, but he backs out.
7-second differential.
Buttinger, left-hand dribble in traffic. Squares up those shoulders, try to bank it off the glass. Another rebound. That's 9 now for Hill. And the jumper with the second opportunity is Buttinger. Oh, how big are offensive rebounds?
I'll tell you what, he has done a terrific job, Jordan Hill. Buttinger, 29 against SC, 24 against UCLA, 27 at Kansas. So this is no aberration right here for Mr. Buttinger. He can score the ball.
Alexander pushed from behind, trying to close down that baseline with 4 seconds on the first half clock. And McClellan picks up foul number 2.
McClellan's done a great job. His main deal in this game is preventing Alexander from getting off. We know Alexander has had 30 in 3 of his last 6 games, and his numbers in this game not very good by those standards.
81% free throw shooter is Joe Alexander, held to just 4 points thus far here in the first half. Fires it up and in.
Well, Bob Huggins trying to figure a way to get his offense rolling right now. And Kevin O'Neal wondering about the 2 fouls on some of his top players, including Bayless, Buttinger, and McClellan.
And 2 for 2. Alexander 6 points in the half. Final seconds behind the back. Contact and a foul. Alexander picks up number 2, and free throws for Nick Wise.
Well, he made a foolish foul early in this game. Leaving his feet right now is not a wise decision. Wise kind of went into him. Nice play by Nick. Right here, on a desperation shot, you're giving a guy an opportunity to make 3 free throws.
One.
Well, there was a lane violation on the first shot. Kevin O'Neal upset by that, so he will shoot 2 free throws instead of 3.
Oh, misses the second, and at the buzzer, West Virginia with a 31-30 lead over Arizona. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel with AT&T at the half after this message and a word from your local station. But Arizona made a late run in that first half. And welcome back to Washington. Craig Buller, Jack Bob Wenzel. What a day it's been here. I'll tell you, we saw Duke win by 1. This looks like it's going down the stretch. And Arizona down 1. Only 4 players, only 4 Wildcats have scored in the first half.
Yeah, they do not have much depth, but when you have Chase Budinger, that's good news for Arizona. He is running people off screens. You get bumps and bruises trying to guard this guy. He is a great athlete. Ruoff trying to get to them, but too late. A lot of pro sets run by Kevin O'Neal. Budinger taking advantage of the situation. He's got 13 in the first half.
As we look at the in-game box score, powered by CBS College Sports Network, the 24-hour college sports channel from CBS Sports. You see Budinger with 13 points, Jordan Hill 10 rebounds. Terrific job underneath for Arizona. And Deshaun Butler, terrific from the 7, shooting 11 points, and Ruoff helping out the cause with 8 for Bob Huggins and the Mountaineers.
And the big thing, of course, that West Virginia 5 of 7 from 3-point land. Arizona 1 for 6.
Bob, here's the question: can Arizona survive the second half without bench scoring?
I'll tell you, it's going to be tough because they're going to have to exert themselves defensively, and they have guys that have 2 fouls, both Bayless and Budinger and Jawan McClellan, all with 2 in the first half, and they kept playing.
First shot went to Alexander, and short on that jumper.
Hey there, Horners. Tony Reale here, floating an invitation your way to go around the horn weekdays right here on NASN, Europe's leading channel for North American sports. Feast your eyes on my band, the Merry Journalists.
Cheerio, blokes.
Who contemplate
2 minutes. Otherwise, the 5 starters were in there the whole time.
Budinger on a rope inside Hill, and Smulligan will pick up the foul here to start the second half.
This is a beautiful set. Right here, we're seeing the end of it. Budinger came off a curl, and then Jordan rolled to the basket. Nice passing. Big on the board so far is Mr. Hill.
Well, a chance to hit double figures, and drops down the first NCAA March Madness Central. Powered by the first ever Pontiac G8 is your home for live look-ins, in-game highlights, and more all day throughout the tournament. Check it out only on the CBS College Sports Network. Double-double. Hill, 10's the magic number. 10 rebounds, 10 points for Jordan Hill.
I'll tell you what, we're just starting the second half. He has been a big factor in this game. The defense right now, not much pressure. They want to try to play between their man and the basket at the 3-point line. Less exertion on their part that way. Not like the Duke game that we saw in Belmont, where guys were pressuring 50 feet away from the basket. More of a sloughing kind of D. Offensive.
Butler, that's his first.
The spin move. Good placement right there. You got to get your feet in the right place.
And now Nick Wise, who went down, looked like a twisted knee, jumps back on the court. And on the other end, an offensive foul. Smulligan. No, they're going to get that to Hill on Arizona. Yeah, that was a miss ID. There's 2 43s on the floor. One is Smulligan and the other is Jordan Hill. 3-point shot is away, and down it goes by Nichols.
Darius is a guy who can do nothing for a while and then in clutch time can take over a game with his defense and with his shooting.
Nichols is an Iron Man, 139th consecutive game tonight. And on the other end, Arizona scores 2 more. Hill with 12 points, 4 here in the opening minutes of the second half. Smulligan. Alexander, can he get the motor running? Left-hand dribble, kicks it out. Nichols. Ruoff, good look, and hits for 3.
The guards right back in the game right now with Nichols and Ruoff taking place.
37-34, West Virginia. Behind the three-point shot, Wise. Backs it out behind the arc. Plenty of time, 20 on the shot clock. Buttinger feeds it to Hill. Offensive. Through the shoulder down on Smulligan. And Hill picks up his second.
Smulligan going out right now, but right here sacrifices his body and takes the charge. That's what you want to do. Now Hill is in a different kind of position right now, guarding a different kind of player. Wellington Smith much quicker than Smulligan. Hill's going to have to move his feet a little more.
Alexander bakes it. Well, that's a great looking shot.
I'll tell you what, we are sitting at floor level and he was jumping to the sky on that one.
39-34, the 5-point lead. From the corner for 3. Got it. Oh, big. Nick Wise. First bucket, it's a 3, 6 points on the night. Two-point ball game. And a foul whistle baseline.
Now here is a guy who is an athlete. Watch Alexander right here. He sets the screen, and then of course, then he's open. The turnaround over his shoulder, jumps way, way up high. And then at the other end, Wise answers from deep. That's a 2 versus a 3. +1 for Arizona.
Jordan Hill whistled, Bob, by the way, for his 3rd personal foul, and the shots keep falling. Ruoff. Up on 16 minutes of play. Mountaineers 41, Arizona 37. West Virginia led by 1 at the half. With a 3-point shot, a big story here in the first few minutes of the second. Alexander dump down. Here in Washington, West Virginia, Arizona battling with 15:40 to play. The winner moves on to round 2, Bob, to take on Duke, who survived a scare against Belmont, the 15th seed in the West.
Both of these teams very, very athletic. Alexander and Buttinger, of course, they're playing similar styles. Lots of screens in their half-court offense. A lot of guys getting black and blue right here, fighting through screens.
Alexander tried to muscle up the bucket, and a foul called. Foul on McClellan, his 3rd, and a timeout. We'll be back on CBS. Greg Bolerjack, Bob Wenzel back in Washington, and thanks to the sharp shooting of West Virginia's guards, Nichols and Ruoff, West Virginia on top now, 41-37. 7 ties thus far, 6 lead changes. And Bob, West Virginia at one point led by 8 in this ball game.
Both teams very, very athletic. Arizona lacks the depth right here. So in the second half, that's going to be the question, the star matchup. So far, Buttinger getting the best of it. Alexander had been defended very, very well in the first half by Jawan McClellan. Buttinger using screens to get open as he moves very intelligently without the ball.
Alexander at the free throw line. First team all Big East. You know, 20 pounds heavier than a year ago. And Bob, as you make the climb in college basketball, that's one thing players will have to do to take the step from being good to great.
Yeah, and the strength so vitally important, especially for a guy who bangs around as much as Alexander does.
Double figures now for Alexander. 10 points. And the lead is 43-37. West Virginia's largest lead, 8, now 6. Arizona controls the dribble out front as we wind into 15 minutes to play. Budinger on the wing. Picked up by Butler. Budinger drives it up. Oh, kisses the glass. Boy, both these teams do not hesitate. Budinger and also Alexander, they'll use glass.
I'll tell you what, and that softens the shot, especially when you're going hard to the basket. Your body momentum carries you very much through, and you need that. Oftentimes you see the ball hit the back of the rim on those kind of shots.
First bucket for Budinger here in the second half. 15 on the night. Nichols pops out straight away. On the wing is Butler. 11 on the shot clock. Slides it down. Alexander faces up. Drives in. Tough shot. Baseline jumper short. Good defense by Arizona.
Absolutely. Budinger is a guy who can really watch him away from the basketball if you can. He moves so well without it. That's why he's always open.
Wise trying to hit it from deep. Ruoff wide open, left-handed shot, no, and right place, right time. Wise is there for the rebound. Leaves it for Bayless. He'll pop it deep. Budinger, fresh clock with 14 minutes to play. And Kevin O'Neal is barking from the sideline to reset.
He wants these staggered screens from Budinger.
That ball is lobbed down low. It's off. And a turnover by Arizona. Ruoff gives it up. A little wild right now. Looks a little playground ball. Nichols. Ruoff for 3. Overshoots it badly. Bodies on the floor. And now finally a whistle.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. We got air balls. We got guys pulling one another down to the floor. World Wrestling Federation right here.
That's Briemeyer getting taken down. Briemeyer, the senior, missed 13 games, and you see that shoulder is still wrapped tight, separated it, and missed 13 ball games. Turning and hitting off the glass, Deshaun Butler.
I'll tell you what, he has great body control. He rarely takes it all the way to the basket. People cut him off. He's able to spin, get his legs underneath him. He always comes up square with his shoulders to the basket.
Bayless spots up Budinger. That ball rims out. Alexander the rebound on the backside. It's 1 and out right now for Arizona. Ruoff. 16 for Alex Ruoff. 48-39. Ruoff lighting up Arizona. 16 for the junior. Take a look at tournament news. Duke, right here in Washington, defeats Belmont by 1. Higher seeds have won 10 of the 12 games. In the Big East, the Big Ten, perfect 2-0. The SEC struggling 0-2. And Beasley, in his debut for Kansas State, 23 points, 11 rebounds. Not bad for the K-State Wildcat. And a few moments ago, Rick Byrd, standing ovation, the head coach of Belmont. There's a hug with his buddy Vince Gill, the country and western singer. And the respect this man has received tonight after pushing Duke to the limit.
I'll tell you what, you know, he's a genius on offense. They spread the floor, they shot threes, they went backdoor when Duke pressured them. They put the ball on the floor against the heavy-duty pressure. His entire team, Alex Renfro, Andy Wick, Justin Hare, Campbell, Belcher, Peoples, Harris, they were all fantastic, fantastic day for Belmont and the Atlantic Sun.
Arizona still without a bench point. Inside, and the long arm of Jordan Hill. That's 14 for the 6'10 sophomore. Hill with 14 points, 10 rebounds. Bob, I don't know if he can do it all by his lonesome.
Lack of depth manifests itself in lots of different ways. Certainly, heavy legs at the end of a game could be a problem for Arizona. Also, foul trouble could be a problem. Also, style of play. They can't be as aggressive on defense as they'd like.
How about Alexander toying with Arizona on the defensive end, on the offensive end, and pop that jumper baseline.
Well, Alexander just jumps over everybody. Right here, He screens, and then he gets open right here. Watch the turnaround jumper. McClellan can't stay with him athletically. Just shoots right over him. Nothing but bottom for Joe.
Alexander now with 12 points.
He's giving away some size right here against Jordan Hill, though. I think it would be wise for Arizona to try to get it inside to Hill and get a foul on Alexander.
Another 12 minutes to play.
That's what they're trying to do right here. They're isolating him inside. Alexander fronting.
Wise out front, 17 on the shot clock. There's a screen by Hill. Budinger wide open for three. Spins it in. Well, that's a deep shot. Budinger with 18 points to lead Arizona.
He is very capable of big numbers, as we know. 30 against Oregon, 24 against the Bruins, 29 against the Trojans, 20 against Memphis early in the year.
Bodies down, no whistle. Inside, Nichols let loose and drops it in with a left hand. Darius Nichols, 8 points. And timeout call by West Virginia. 52-44, Mountaineers with the lead on CBS. Huggins in his first season looking for his 25th win. Born in Morgantown, back home after a one-year stop at Kansas State. You know, he told us, and Bobby had a great talk with you yesterday, once that call came, you just can't turn down coming home.
It would have been nice if he brought Beasley with him, huh?
K-State's glad he stayed, but will he stay for another season? That's the question.
Yeah, they got a W in their first game today against the Trojans of the Pac-10.
Wise, downtown straight away. Nick Wise, 9 points, 2 3-pointers dropped here in the second half. And Arizona refuses to give up, 52-47.
All 4 games that we've seen today at this juncture in the game, about 3/4 of the way through, guys start to feel a little fatigued and the play goes down.
Alexander missed a great inside shot, rimmed out. It's a break for Arizona. Bayless gives it up baseline, inside the big fella Hill. Oh, he can't get it. Offensive rebound, one bounce. That ball pops out like a cork, but Arizona still with the basketball. Budinger. Another opportunity for the Wildcats. It's stripped away.
Well, we've seen a misplay by Alexander on an easy layup, a missed dunk opportunity for Hill, and scrums after the ball right now. That is a sign of fatigue.
Nichols to Ruoff. Now Alexander. Smith with a bump. Hangs on a pivot. Tough shot. And a foul. Timeout in Washington. 9:47 down the stretch we go. Is getting real Coke taste with 0 calories. Won a $25,000 scholarship from Coke Zero at mycokerewards.com. Greg Bolerjack back with Bob Wenzel in this building. See some great hoop today, my friend. Some great basketball.
I'll tell you, Jordan Hill with 4 personal fouls. We talk about the lack of depth on the part of Arizona. He needs to sit for only about 2 minutes if they're going to have a chance to win. The 3-point shooting of West Virginia's backcourt has been excellent. Ruoff, 4 of 5. Nichols, 2 for 3. They are beating Arizona from beyond the arc, 24-12 so far in the game.
Wellington Smith at the line and spins in his first free throw of the night. In fact, only the 4th bench point scored by West Virginia. Arizona has done it, Bob, with only 4 players. Budinger with 18, Hill with 14, 9 for Wise, and 6 for Bayless.
Yeah, and McClellan's wearing himself out trying to guard Alexander. That's not why he's not in the scoring column.
So Smith goes out. Smulligan checks back in for West Virginia. A 7-point lead with 9:45 to play.
1-3-1 zone. First possession of 1-3-1 right now. They switch out of it back into man-to-man on the first pass. It was a fake, and it faked me out.
Wise finds Bayless. Up against Alexander, puts it on the floor, slides it up and in. Oh, that's a big move. Big move, Jared Bayless, his first bucket here in the second half. 8 points on the night. The freshman from Phoenix played at St. Mary's High School.
Both teams handling the basketball very well. Not a lot of turnovers in this one.
Butler takes the miss by Alexander, uncontested.
The Butler cleaning up, huh? Oh my goodness.
15 for Deshaun Butler.
He was all over that in the right place. He knew the miss was coming to this side.
Bayless foul before the shot. And Butler picks up his second.
Butler cleaning up on the weak side, positions himself, left-handed grab. Man, that is a terrific, terrific rebound.
$8:53 to play here in Washington. Final game of the day in the West region. West Virginia, the 7th seed against the 10th seeded Arizona Wildcats. Count it. Smulligan the foul. And a bucket by Brielmaier. Bob, the first point scored by Arizona's bench.
I'll tell you what, they do not have much depth. Brielmaier had that shoulder injury. You can see the padding on his right side right there. Very physical player. Not getting a lot of minutes, but because Hill is on the bench, he's got to give the best he can give.
Smulligan picks up his second personal. Brielmaier with a chance for a three-point play. Spins it in. 7 ties, 6 lead changes. West Virginia's largest lead 9, but it's been trimmed to 4. Under 9 minutes to play here in Washington. Smiths leaves it out for Nichols. Now Alexander backs it out. Ruoff. Mountaineers looking for that slight opening. A tenacious defense by Arizona. There's a steal. So the defense pays off. They get the turnover, and Bayless runs it across midcourt.
Bayless got stuck on Alexander, did the wise thing, and fronted him. Turned a bad situation into a good one.
Bayless tried to muscle it up, went right to left hand, rebound, and West Virginia motors across midcourt. Nichols behind the back. Oh, how about the feed inside? And the bucket drops for Butler.
It's amazing that he even saw him, but then to deliver at the same time, that is a point guard.
17 for Butler and a timeout. 58-52, West Virginia. West Virginia with the lead of 58-52. Craig Bolerjack, Bob Wenzel back here in Washington as we take you down the stretch. The final of 4 games. And earlier tonight we saw Duke push to the limit by Belmont. 71-70 the final.
And Duke will get the winner of this game on Saturday. Both Wojciechowski and Collins, the assistant coaches, scouting this one right behind us. They better figure out a way to get through screens if they're going to try to guard Buttinger.
Boy, great crossover. Had a great look, tried to kiss it off the glass. Ruoff there for the rebound. And finds Nichols, who walks it across midcourt as we close in on 7 minutes to play.
Ruoff looks energetic to me right now. If he's going to shoot long shots, which is his forte, he needs to get his legs under him at this juncture of the game. Alexander
draws a double team. Missed that shot. Butler's there for the rebound, and the rebound by Brielmaier.
Oh. Butler dove right off the floor.
You gotta love the hustle. It's that time of year on CBS. Well, shooting impressive from both clubs tonight. 49%, 46% for Arizona. Three-point shots, a big story. Bench points. Amazing that only 5 have been dropped by West Virginia. 3, Bob, by Arizona.
The three-point shooting is the one that I feel is the most important, 24-12. But it has been bruising today in Washington. Very physical play by both teams here. Physical play, the name of the game all day long. Everybody wants to win. Everybody is after it. And that's the way I like to see the game played. Not many touch fouls in this one.
No, when the whistle's blown, it's for a reason.
I don't know, you think the officials are tired? It's late at night, you know, maybe they don't have enough energy to blow that whistle.
Under 7 minutes left to play. Arizona with the ball, and Wise walks it across the timeline. Picked up by Darius Nichols. Wise drives, hangs, that ball is stripped away. Watch out, here comes West Virginia. Ruoff toes it for 3. Rims out, backside rebound, Budinger.
That may not have seemed like a percentage play to pull up from 3 on the break like that, but for West Virginia and Ruoff, that's the way they want to do it.
.6:24 to play here in Washington. In the West region, West Virginia, the 7th seed, trying to move on to round 2. Arizona, the 10th seed. And it's been physical, as you mentioned, Bob. 3-point shots have dropped for both sides. Now the question, can Arizona, basically a 4-man team, weather the storm? Can they work their way back?
Lack of depth can hurt you in lots of ways. Endgame situations, lactic acid builds up in the muscles. You don't move as quick, not as effective at either end in executing.
Budinger out on the wing. Danger from 3-point land. He'll take it strong inside, and foul shots coming for Chase Budinger.
Kevin O'Neill is running pro sets for Budinger on almost every trip down the floor. He is an unbelievable athlete with quickness and explosiveness. And right here, he wants to clear. He's being guarded by Butler, who's a good athlete himself, takes the ball strongly.
Short as Alexander. 4 fouls for Joe Alexander. 1 more for Budinger. 18-point ball game.
He had 13 in the first half, so he's been not quite as effective in the second half. 4 fouls on Joe Alexander. He, of the 3 30-point games in his last 6, twice against UConn, goes into the 30s.
And there's a question at the scorer's table. Like Sancerre checking things out. Was there a question about a foul? Bob Huggins still pondering that.
Well, if Joe Alexander does not have 4 fouls, there's no reason for him to be sitting over there on the bench right now, I'll tell you that.
And 4 it is.
Yeah, so it must be.
Huggins, we were told, thought it was on Deshaun Butler. No, Alexander, his 4th.
Crucial part of the game with him out of the game right now. Smalligan is going to hang around on the 3-point lane, screen for people, and be a passer, and try to bring Jordan Hill away from, and let Butler operate inside if he can.
5-point game. West Virginia with the lead in the basketball. Smalligan hands off to Smith. Rolls around Budinger. Count it.
What execution by the Mountaineers on this one. Smalligan is away from the basket, and because of that, Hill not there to block any shots or clog it up. So as a result, the drive to the basket very much available.
Budinger picks up his 3rd, and that puts Wellington Smith at the free throw line. Missed the 3-point opportunity. Rebound, McClellan.
I love the concept on West Virginia on that particular play. With Alexander out, he's normally in the low post. Smalligan plays away from the basket. Now he's got to defend against Hill.
Wise drives in, leaves it out. Boy, dangerous pass. Bayless gives it up in the paint. That ball ricochets right back to Arizona. 3 ball on the way. Yes! From the corner, the dead eye of Nick Wise.
Unbelievable. That possession was going south right there.
Oh, it was over.
And Wise made something good happen for the Wildcats.
Bob, sometimes you gotta be lucky. Nichols, 1 and out, rebound. Bayless, quickly, to front court, Budinger. Bayless, oh yes! Arizona coming back.
That is a talented young man right there. Jared Bayless averages 20 a game in the tough Pac-10 conference.
First 3-point shot dropped. 11 on the night. 1-point ball game. 60-59 West Virginia. Ruoff clears it out from the corner. On the dribble, the drive. Nichols, Smalligan puts it on the floor. Shot clock to 4. In and out and back in.
That was a lot of iron. It hit every part of the orange.
Darius Nichols with 11. Oh, what a finish. 63-59, Mountaineers. Bayless puts it on the floor. Up off the glass, rebound, off the miss, and then lost out of bounds. Arizona will have it after this timeout, 3:40 to play. And the three-point shots are dropping in Washington. Arizona trimming that lead of West Virginia down to 4. Arizona, Bob, started 2 of 10 from behind the arc. They've made their last 4.
I'll tell you what, Wise got this one, and then Jared Bayless, the freshman star of Arizona, knocked this one in, and man, was he happy about this. He's coming into your living room to tell you about it. You know, West Virginia's got 24 wins this year, but they had 3 close losses to big-time teams. 2-point loss to Tennessee, 1-point loss to Georgetown when Ewing blocked a shot at the buzzer, and Ronald Ramon of Pitt hit a 3 to beat them by 1. A very, very good team indeed.
And a big possession here for Arizona. Buttinger goes down low. Smulligan, tough defense, and that ball is out of bounds. West Virginia will have possession.
Hill feels as if he was fouled, but just aggressive defense on the part of the Mountaineers here.
And Bob, remember, Hill has to play off a little bit now. 4 fouls back on the court for the final 3.5.
Exactly. And right now, Alexander is not in the game, and that surprises me a little bit.
Out front off the curl, Ruoff, good look. Bang, down she goes.
Are you kidding me? At this juncture of the game, wow.
66-59, West Virginia.
19 points for Ruoff.
Arizona tries to answer back, loose ball, foul in the paint.
Coming off a staggered screen, he is open but contested. The follow-through. Wave goodbye to that basketball. This guy is really a tremendous shooter. And he's 6'6", 215. Plays the 2-guard spot for Huggins. And he and Nichols are really a solid backcourt combination. And Joe Alexander back in the game, Craig.
Out goes Smulligan after picking up his 3rd foul. And at the line is Jordan Hill, 4 of 5 from the line tonight, and hits the first. He'll get another, 15 on the night, and the madness continues on the new adventures of Old Christine. That's Monday at 9:30, 8:30 Central, right here on CBS. Boy, Hill, calm as can be, drops down 2. 66-61.
Boy, does he have a bright future, huh?
Oh.
6'10", 230.
Mobile.
Soft touch like that from the free throw line. He's going to get fouled a lot, too.
They can rebound. Clock under 3 minutes. Alexander. Well, West Virginia put it in your Stars' hands. Down the stretch. Nichols on the wing, looks inside. 12 on the shot clock. Nichols deep. Left-hander hits.
These guards are outstanding. Nichols and Ruoff have come up big. 2 threes in a row by the backcourt guys.
33 points from Nichols and Ruoff. 2:20 left on the clock. 8-point ball game in Washington. Buttinger trying to slide in. That ball was knocked out of his hands.
Craig, this is the strength of a team like West Virginia. The star player not having a good night, and Darius Nichols comes up contested and knocks this one in. Ruoff on the last possession knocks a 3 in off a staggered screen. This is a deep team. Their star cannot play well, and they can still win. Ruoff 5 of 7 from downtown. Nichols 4 of 6. Doesn't get much better than that.
Buttinger, 20 points. And 1 more to come. 2:14 to play. The winner moves on to take on Duke. Buttinger, solid. A 13-point first half, now with 21. We're crawling up on 2 minutes left. And Bob, you know what that means, crunch time.
Absolutely, and free throw shooting, digging in at the defensive end for both teams. There will be lots of loose balls, and guys, 10 people will be on the boards here the rest of the way.
Under 2 minutes, Butler, they clear it out, takes the jumper from the free throw line. Good.
How about their execution in the clutch?
Boy, big shot after big shot. 19 for Deshaun Butler. Now Bayless drives. Budinger for 3. Got him on the elbow. And Butler picks up the foul. And free throws for Budinger. 3 free throws for Chase Budinger.
West Virginia's execution down the stretch here has been remarkably good. 2 threes by the backcourt guys, and then that last play for a 2. Budinger above his average. This guy can really score.
Tonight, 3 of 4. Drops down to 1st of 3.
You got to say about this Arizona team, too. Very odd circumstances this year with Lute Olson taking off for the year. Kevin O'Neill coming in. He was the assistant, became the head coach. Now it's been announced that Lute Olson will take over the team again as soon as the season is over. O'Neill doing a very good job, and we could say it's bizarre circumstances, very unusual at least.
Budinger makes 2 of 3. Loose ball saved by West Virginia. Now the question, will Kevin O'Neill move on to another opportunity? That will be interesting in the offseason.
Yes, and he'll certainly have some opportunities. The guy's a terrific coach, but he is also the coach in waiting at Arizona. So do you take a job, or do you stay at Arizona and wait for Lute Olson to retire?
Well, he was relieved that he led Arizona to their 24th consecutive NCAA tournament. That a relief. Butler with 10 on the shot clock. Alexander draws the double team. Another 3 on the way. No. It's loose. Alexander has it. 59 ticks on the clock and a fresh 35.
Fatigue on the part of the Wildcats. They don't have enough depth to play with this intensity for 40 minutes.
McClellan reaches in and whistle for his 4th foul. And to the line goes Alexander. Bobby made a great point. The superstar struggles tonight. The guard line steps up.
They really did a fantastic job, both Darius Nichols and Alex Ruoff. And of course, Butler has been very good as well. Sign of a good team.
13 for Joe Alexander, and Monday on CBS. Don't miss Britney Spears on How I Met Your Mother. That's Monday at 8:30, 7:30 Central. Only on CBS. Alexander, born in Taiwan, lived in Beijing and Hong Kong. Boy, sounds like a movie script. That's 14 for Joe. Final minute. That ball's batted down. West Virginia has a meeting with Duke on Saturday afternoon. Bayless went back to say, hey, Mr. Ruoff, no harm on that foul.
Very good sportsmanship on Bayless's part.
After a close game, West Virginia has broke it open here in the final 2 minutes. Final seconds here in Washington. Final game of the day in the West region. And Arizona gave it their all against the Mountaineers. A second separating shot and game clock. And this game on the scoreboard, Bob will read a 10-point victory, but boy, did Arizona push, and push hard.
Star power, Budinger and Bayless, and of course Hill, and the backcourt of Darius Nichols and Ruoff. Butler also had a tremendous game. What a good victory for Bob Huggins.
75-65 the final. And tonight's Chevrolet players of the game. Chase Budinger from Arizona, 23 points on 8 of 13 shooting. And Deshaun Butler lit it up, 19 points and 7 rebounds. So West Virginia wins their 25th game of the season, and they will move on to take on Duke Saturday here on CBS.
Can't wait to watch that one. Talent everywhere.
The backcourt, the big story. Nichols and Ruoff led the way, 33 points from that West Virginia backcourt. And tip your hat to Chase Budinger, 23 to lead Arizona.
Bob Huggins, in his first year at West Virginia, continues the winning streak of the Mountaineers. They have averaged 24 wins the last 3 years. Last year they win the NIT. 2006, they go to the Sweet 16 with John Beeline, and 05 in the Elite 8. And Joe Alexander, despite not getting in the 30s, still played a good game. The depth of
West Virginia 10-point winner.